If you're a healer, a coach, an empathic entrepreneur who knows you're meant to share your voice online, but something inside of you shuts down every time you hit record or try to show up, then this episode is for you. Because what most people think is a marketing problem is actually a nervous system problem. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sovereign Self Show. It's been a hot second. Um, I'm your host, Lauren Chalantani, and I'm so excited to be bringing you the first episode of 2026. And not only that, the year of the fire horse. Here we are, we're doing it. Let's let the address the elephant in the room. It's been a few months. I took a step back consciously to be with me, to live life, to process some things. A lot has happened since we last saw each other, and all good things for the most part. Um, I don't know about you guys, but the year of the snake, I was born in the year of the snake, 89 over here, was a lot of shedding, and a lot of people leaving this earthly plane too, surprisingly enough. We were traveling all of last year, full time across the country. We were in Asheville, North Carolina, Hilton Head. We were in North Carolina in different spots. We were in Arizona, New Mexico, California, Lake Tahoe, the Grand Canyon, Sedona. All of these beautiful, just gorgeous places bring you to your knees. And then we arrive in Oregon, which where we are. And spoiler alert, we are officially here in Oregon, Central Oregon, for the time being, for the foreseeable future. So I'm very happy to call this home. But as we first got here, the last time we spoke, actually, my dear friend unexpectedly passed away. And her death really coincided with a lot of other things inside of me that I knew I needed to let go of. So I took a step back from my business, even from podcasting, not because I was scared, but because I knew I had to spend more time with myself, integrate, and come back even stronger. So, your girl's here. I'm ready to continually share more wisdom, of course, about visibility, of course, about being seen for who you are. And the past 6 months specifically has really taught me that we don't know when our last moment is, and really the importance of living each moment like it's your last, and to really cherish the people around us. And as we have that really stable foundation and get out of survival, because hello, a lot of survival programs were coming up for me, we're able to really step and solidify our own creative life force to really harness the clarity of who we are, what we're here to create and share with the world. And I know that resonates with you for sure. So, what did this season really teach me about leadership and visibility? Even though I took a step back from being visible, quote unquote, online, the one thing that really kept coming up to me is that people, myself included at the beginning of my story, really think that it's a business and marketing problem. But really, it's an emotional and nervous system and the inner work problem slash solution. I'll jump back to my origin story. You guys might have heard this before. When I started this podcast many moons ago, before it was a top 2% podcast, before it was even called the Sovereign Self Show, it was called Witchy Wellness Radio. And I was a health coach back then and really helping a lot of women with digestive and hormonal imbalances, but really harness the power of law of attraction and their own energy. So I was already woo woo before I knew it. And I had a few episodes in. I was showing up consistently. It took me forever to record a solo episode because I was so nervous, just audio only. And I would have to beg my friends to come on the show. Could you please be a guest? I want to have a guest on my show. It's just all me talking and I want to, interview somebody. And at some point, I started getting emails of people pitching themselves and also PR agencies asking for their client to come on the show. And I was thrown through a freaking loop. I was like, imposter syndrome, who am I to do this? I got really anxious. Um, I'd have to cancel a few interviews because I was like on the verge of a panic attack. And I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? I thought I healed my panic attacks. I thought I worked through all my anxiety. Spoiler alert, no. You guys know starting a business, sharing your message with the world is just one of the ways to really upheaval, bring all of that stuff up to the surface to be felt and to be seen, transmuted, healed, and alchemized, and sharing that with the world. So, whew, eventually, at some point, I was able to work through it, figuring out how to feel the feelings and realizing, oh, wait, what's really going on here? And I still kept showing up. Even if it was an episode every other week, I was still working full time back then and in a corporate office environment. So I really was doing this on the weekends and the weeknights, which felt like a lot. And so I had to figure out my own rhythm not to burn out, but kept showing up. And I was not looking at the metrics back then. I was not looking at the download numbers or subscribers because number one, I really didn't understand that podcast technology then. But two, I wasn't doing it for that. I was doing that to as a vehicle for my own growth, my own change. And I realized that when my nervous system didn't feel safe of being seen, that was the key shift. That's when I really realized, oh my God, it's a lot more than just getting the right hook. It's so much more than, you know, getting a big guest to come on your show. The fear of visibility, the fear of being seen or maybe found out, you might have heard it called witch wounds, is really the opportunity for us to feel things that we've suppressed. It is the container, the vehicle, like I said before, for us fellow empath entrepreneurs to really step through that fear of visibility through our own nervous system regulation. Now, I see a lot of like somatic coaches, energy coaches saying that like regulation is overrated, being calm is overrated. You don't need to be calm. Well, here's my caveat. I think you should still feel all the feelings because that's what they're here for. They are energy in motion, emotion. And if you are in a chronic state of anxiety, of survival, of waiting for that shoe to drop, then we need to talk about nervous system regulation a little bit, okay? It's not about being this Zen master Buddha all the time and nothing phases you. It's about knowing who you are and that you are the creator, the director, the producer, the actor of your reality, and taking responsibility for what's coming up and how you're feeling in the moment. And when we can actually do that, the imposter syndrome just like naturally melts away. And okay, how do we actually do that? Well, the breakthrough for me was realizing that my emotions weren't something to actually fix. I wasn't the problem. They were actually something to feel. And this is what you would call emotional alchemy. And what I teach in the systems, like in our membership, the portal, is really how to feel what's coming up without the story. Oh, she said this. Oh, this situation happened. Oh, if he only would have acted better towards me, or if I wasn't feeling this way or had this physical illness or symptom, fill in the freaking blank. Because our minds, our fear-based survival minds, keeping us alive, bless them, bless you, monkey mind, are here to keep us alive, but they are not here to get us out of survival. But when we can strip away those layers and stop feeding into the mind wanting to tell and justify, those reasons may feel and seem so valid in the moment or why you're feeling that way. But you are literally reproducing that emotion by repeating that story. So when we can shake things up, we can activate our energy, we can get into a trance like state. It's easier for us to get out of our heads and into our bodies. Think the yogi high, the runner's bliss. We are out of the thinking mind and into our feeling body. And when we can do that, we can have an honest feeling conversation with ourselves, and our body knows how to move energy. It knows how to transmute the emotions. It knows how to feel. And I promise you, almost instantly, you're going to feel relief. The solution's going to pop in your head. That next inspired action is going to pop in perfectly. And this is why I'm actually creating something new called the portal. And it's a space for women who feel this shift, who feel like the imposter syndrome, the visibility wounds, the what the F, I know what I'm talking about. I've done the inner work. Well, why is this all coming up again? Who are here to really embody that emotional alchemy, to activate their voice, their sovereignty. There's that message in there, but how do we get it out of your head and your body and into the world to transmute that message across wavelengths? Because a portal woman is a woman who stops hiding. She's transmuting that message through her own embodiment, through the words that she speaks, through the feeling she feels, how she moves the world. When you think about a flower, it doesn't have to convince a bee to come to it. The flower blooms and it knows how sweet it is, and it naturally attracts these bees to it. That's a portal woman. She becomes instantly magnetic because she knows her worth, her value, her sovereignty, but also the clarity of who she is and the message she's here to deliver to the world this lifetime. So if you've really been feeling this pull lately, like you're meant to stop hiding behind the doom scrolling and really start to share your voice, you are not alone. You might be a fellow portal woman. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Sovereign Self Show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know on Instagram or on YouTube, what did you think this episode? What topics around imposter syndrome and fear of visibility really you want to hear more of or you want to work through? How can I be of service for you guys? And until next time.